Kelsey Plum strikes again.
Just United front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very, that really needed to be mentioned.
That was ridiculous. That was childish, and Sabrina had to let it be known. I don't really think that was necessary. She trying to laugh it off, but Sabrina's not feeling you saying that.
Sabrina Ionescu's eye roll may go down as the most iconic and revealing moment in WNBA history. The 2025 All-Star Game press conference completely derailed when Kelsey Plum randomly called out Team Caitlin Clark for not being fully present at the players' Saturday morning meeting where they planned the now viral shirt demonstration. Plum stated that none of Clark's teammates were really engaged in that planning session.
Now, Sabrina Ionescu quickly, swiftly, and in a hurry kind of tried to stop Kelsey Plum from taking these little shots, but she didn't care.
Instantly, Sabrina, sitting right beside her, shot her a look of disbelief, raised her eyebrows, and rolled her eyes before firing off a sarcastic, "That really needed to be mentioned," drawing awkward laughs across the room. It was subtle, but it said everything. If you support Caitlin and Sabrina, then comment below CC and Sab. Let's go.
Y'all need media training, bro. Like, I hate to see y'all really need media training. This was so unnecessary. And then you gonna take shots after that trash game y'all displayed?
The tension was palpable. Sabrina's body language and expression made it crystal clear. Plum's comment was completely out of line and unnecessary, especially since Caitlin wasn't even at the press conference to speak for herself. But what happened next showed why Caitlin Clark operates in an entirely different class than some of her petty peers. Rather than fire back or feed the drama, Clark waited, then responded with quiet precision at the perfect time. And it was far more powerful than any on-camera retaliation.
Sabrina Ionescu did not like this shit, by the way.
And you can just see, even with the way Sabrina Ionescu's reacting, she's like, "What did you just say?"
And right in front of Sabrina Ionescu, right there, right next to her, you have no shame. This woman is just trashy, dog. Like, Kelsey Plum is trashy, bro. There's a reason why Darren Waller left her. Smart man, by the way, because his salary was pretty nice when he signed with the Giants.
The All-Star Game itself was supposed to be about unity. Every player who traveled to Indianapolis stood together, sporting "Pay us what you owe us" shirts before tip-off, a bold statement supporting the players' collective bargaining push for better pay and working conditions. The visual was powerful. The message was clear. We're all in this together, regardless of rivalries. At first, fans and media embraced the moment. For once, the spotlight was on collective solidarity instead of internal drama. Plum even called it a powerful experience, explaining that the shirt protest was organized that morning during a players-only meeting. But then, just moments later, she completely undermined that message by throwing Clark's team under the bus for not being present at the meeting.
The shirts read, "Pay us what you owe us." And of course, everybody clowned that.
You said you wanted to look united, right? You wanted to make it look like y'all all were on one accord. You wanted to make it look like the advocacy was there between you all. And you come out and say 0 members of Team Caitlin Clark was there. How do you think that make y'all look now?
She joined you guys to stand as a one united front, and then you go and take shots at her when she's responsible for more than 55% of the business? Are you crazy? Have you lost your damn mind?
The irony couldn't be more obvious. Here are players demanding higher pay while simultaneously stirring up drama around the one player, Caitlin Clark, who has single-handedly brought in the viewership, attention, and sponsorship money to make that pay raise possible. Sabrina's reaction didn't just steal the moment, it saved it. Her deadpan sarcasm and immediate discomfort reflected exactly what many were thinking. Did Plum really just do that? As Plum took a cheap shot at players who weren't even there, Sabrina looked visibly stunned, realizing her teammate had just stepped into a PR nightmare.
We know your league doesn't make a profit, and the only hopes of it making a profit is that lady right there on my screen.
Y'all only got close to the green for the first time ever because of Caitlin Clark's there.
You tried to get them more money last year behind the scenes. They still didn't like you. You came out and spoke out for black women and black women athletes, especially black women basketball players. They still don't like it. Don't matter what you do. The peers of the WNBA do not mess with you. It just is what it is.
Keep in mind, Ionescu was originally selected to Team Clark before Clark had to withdraw due to injury. So this wasn't just any moment of discomfort, this was personal. Sabrina clearly still felt some allegiance to Clark, which made Plum's criticism sting even more. She was basically taking aim at her own all-star squad, and Sabrina wasn't about to let it slide.
You know what? Caitlin Clark didn't have to do that. She didn't have to wear the shirt or anything, but she did it out of solidarity and good faith to help support the WNBA and the other players. What do? You discredit her and discredit everybody on her team about it.
That perfectly timed eye roll and dry response? Pure class. And in doing so, Sabrina Ionescu proved she had more maturity in that moment than the veteran sitting right next to her. It didn't take long for the NBA world to react. Stacey King, a former NBA champion and longtime teammate of Michael Jordan, didn't hold back, calling Plum's remark a petty shot at Caitlin Clark. And when former NBA champions start weighing in on WNBA press conference behavior, you know the moment hit a nerve.
These women are insufferable. They don't deserve more money. They don't get any ratings outside of Caitlin Clark. They openly disrespect her. They don't deserve Caitlin Clark. They don't deserve attention. They don't deserve a league.
Caitlin Clark, I want her to clap back so bad. She needs to clap back, man. Stop being nice. Stop doing people favors. Stop trying to help a sister out. Stop doing all that stuff, bro. These are some ungrateful hyenas.
This isn't just random social media noise. It's respected voices from across the basketball world calling out unprofessional behavior. And it shows just how far Clark's reach extends. The way she's being treated isn't just a WNBA story, it's a basketball story. And the more people see this kind of drama unfold, the more players like Plum look out of touch and insecure.
Part of me just does wish you would be like, look, man, I'm tired of y'all disrespecting. I'm tired of y'all hating and taking shots. Go figure this out on your own. Let me see y'all get a deal done without me, without my numbers, without my fans who y'all all claim was racist. Y'all called all of her fans racist, but you want to use the numbers supported by those same racist fans. You want to use those numbers to try to get more money.
From a business standpoint, the situation becomes even more absurd. Despite Clark's absence, the All-Star Game still drew a packed house at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. But according to reports, ticket prices plummeted by more than 50% after it was announced that Clark wouldn't be playing.
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't going to pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%.
If there's one thing this situation makes crystal clear, it's who truly brings in the attention, money, and momentum for the WNBA. Whenever Caitlin Clark is on the court, or even just associated with a game, the television ratings skyrocket. Her presence has led to record-breaking viewership numbers and an explosion in merchandise sales, especially in markets where she plays. In other words, Clark is the primary reason the league is seeing such a significant financial upswing. That rise in popularity and cash flow is what's even allowing players to talk about better salaries in the first place. So, when some athletes wear shirts that say, "Pay us what you owe us," while simultaneously criticizing Clark, it's a stunning example of hypocrisy. They're insulting the very person whose star power is enabling the league to offer them better opportunities.
Taking a shot like this at the player that's the only reason you're in a position to ask for more money is crazy, and that's a fact.
Them relying so heavily on Caitlin Clark, one player, to generate their money, it's going to take some time, man, to get y'all those $200, $300 million contracts, bro. It just is. This isn't like a one and done thing, and it's going to take, you know what I'm saying, a year or two. Y'all got to show proven years of winning. And the way y'all attacking Caitlin Clark, beating her up, battering her, I don't know what the future even look like for y'all with viewership and entertainment.
But this goes deeper than just dollars and cents. It reveals a disturbing cultural undercurrent within the WNBA. A league cannot grow or succeed if its athletes are more invested in stirring up personal drama than in championing the sport. Caitlin Clark has done more to put women's basketball in the national spotlight than anyone in recent memory. Yet, rather than support that momentum and lift the sport together, some players appear more concerned with creating friction, most of it aimed squarely at Clark, for reasons that defy logic and basic business sense. The way Clark has calmly navigated this chaos, even as certain veterans behave like high school mean girls, highlights the glaring professionalism gap between her and some of her peers. It's clear who's helping the league move forward and who's just throwing stones from the sidelines.
Let's be serious here. Caitlin Clark is the one bringing in the numbers. We watched the ticket prices drop 50% when Caitlin Clark was announced that she will not be participating due to her injury. The ticket prices dropped by 50% for an All-Star game. That should tell y'all other you're not as popping as you think you are. I'm sorry.
This recent dust-up isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a disturbing trend that's been building all season. Instead of celebrating the wave of attention Clark has brought to the WNBA, some players seem obsessed with minimizing her accomplishments. The latest example came from Kelsey Plum, who took an unnecessary jab at Clark during a press conference, despite Clark not even being present. She was sidelined with an injury at the time. This kind of behavior shows a troubling pattern. Players going out of their way to undermine the one person whose success is opening doors for everyone in the league. It's self-sabotage on a stunning level, cutting down the golden goose in front of a national audience.
How did we get to an All-Star game in Indiana where Caitlin Clark is not healthy enough to play? Well, it all started last year, in her rookie season, where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up, laughing about it, laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on.
What's worse is that this petty behavior has become a mainstream narrative. When NBA legends and well-known sports analysts start publicly criticizing WNBA players for how they treat their own biggest star, you know there's a serious problem. These aren't fringe critics. These are respected voices in the basketball world. Social media exploded when WNBA players ranked Clark only the 9th best guard in the league. Fans and commentators alike called the list a joke. The backlash was intense and long-lasting, dominating conversation online and in sports media for days. And yet, instead of acknowledging the issue, players like Plum doubled down on the narrative. It was a public relations disaster that could have easily been avoided if players had any real understanding of how to protect the league's image.
I mean, you're going to mess around and a large, massive group of fans are going to be like, enough is enough. We've never had to see anything like it in sports, but you don't see these other leagues going around talking crazy about their fan bases all the time like this league does. It's continuous. They're running their mouth about the people that are paying money to see them. You don't have other jobs where people walk up. You're in a public job that's in front of the world.
More than anything, this controversy highlights a major disconnect between how some WNBA players view their value and what actually fuels interest in the league. Clark has already endured a series of on-court incidents that have gone viral for all the wrong reasons. Getting shoved to the ground by Marina Mabrey, struck in the eye by J.C. Sheldon, yet she never retaliates. She keeps her composure and moves forward. Meanwhile, it was so clear that the foul from Mabrey was out of bounds that even the WNBA admitted she should have been ejected. Still, Clark remained classy. She said nothing inflammatory. No tantrums, no finger-pointing, just a quiet focus on the game and her teammates. That kind of professionalism is rare, and it's exactly what the league needs.
And last year, I noticed how much it was just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was taking all the hits. Caitlin Clark was taking all the abuse. But this year they've added Sophie Cunningham. She gets more flagrant fouls on her than anybody in the league. besides Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston. She's been taking hits as well. But the worst thing is the consistency. So they don't call flagrant fouls, or most of the time, Caitlin Clark could be held for an entire game at a time. They don't call fouls. They don't call common fouls. But then when it's the Indiana Fever, guess what? Touch foul here, touch foul here. They call absolutely nothing.
Yet the aggression, both verbal and physical, keeps coming. And it's not just opposing teams, it's her own league peers. Combine the underhanded voting, the eye-roll-worthy press conference shade, and the increasing number of questionable calls by refs, and you get a disturbing picture. Instead of uniting around the star player driving attention and income, the WNBA is imploding around her. The officiating itself has even come under fire, as more and more fans and media call out missed calls and inconsistent treatment of Clark. This isn't how professional sports leagues operate when they have a once-in-a-generation talent on their hands. Normally, a league rallies around that person, protects them, markets them, and elevates everyone in the process. But here, the claws come out. It's heartbreaking because Caitlin Clark hasn't done anything to warrant this kind of hostility. If anything, she's been the model superstar, humble, poised, and respectful despite intense scrutiny. She's taken the high road every time. She even supported the WNBA's investigation into racially charged fan behavior, showing she's willing to stand up for her fellow players and foster unity. Still, the negativity keeps coming, from the very people who benefit most from her success. Her grace under pressure should be the gold standard. Instead, she's forced to constantly prove herself to peers who seem more threatened by her spotlight than grateful for the brighter stage they now get to perform on.
Really unfortunate that Caitlin Clark missed it. The crowd would have been exploding. The crowd would have been exploding. The arena would have been exploding. Oh man, a big miss as far as the WNBA is concerned.
And that's the real tragedy here. It's not just about Clark. It's about what this says regarding the WNBA's internal culture. When multiple players from different teams consistently undermine the league's biggest draw, it suggests a wider issue, not just a few isolated jealousies. Professional leagues thrive when they put their top talent front and center, build storylines that attract fans, and create an environment of mutual respect and shared goals. But the WNBA seems trapped in a cycle of negative headlines, social media spats, and self-inflicted wounds. The actual basketball, ironically, often takes a back seat. From a business perspective, this is a nightmare. Clark is single-handedly boosting ticket sales, broadcast ratings, and sponsor interest. That's more money for everyone. Yet, the behavior of certain players is scaring away potential fans and investors. Even while injured and kept from participating in the All-Star Game, Clark continued to promote the league and show support. She's done everything right, despite being targeted at nearly every turn.
From $121 all the way down to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. I made accommodations solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. She's injured. I have no interest in that anymore. People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121, okay. You want it for 100? Oh no, okay. I guess I gotta lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay, I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it to 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends, and they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league.
And that leads us to perhaps the saddest part of all. The movement meant to represent WNBA unity, those "pay us what you owe us" shirts, should have been a powerful moment to push for better compensation and treatment. Instead, it became another bitter reminder of the toxic environment surrounding Clark. The irony couldn't be clearer. Players demanding more money while simultaneously attacking the woman who is directly responsible for making that financial growth possible. To casual fans and corporate sponsors watching from the outside, it all looks disorganized, divisive, and unprofessional. In the end, Caitlin Clark deserves better. Not just because she's talented, but because she's handled this firestorm with a level of maturity that far surpasses her age or experience. The WNBA could be on the cusp of a golden era. But unless the culture changes, unless the players recognize the bigger picture and stop tearing down their own, the league will keep squandering its most valuable asset. If you support Caitlin and Sabrina, then comment below CC and Sabi. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.